Welcome to Pipeline Pulse, a special report concerning entrepreneurship through acquisition from around the globe.
Welcome, everyone, to a Pipeline Pulse special report on the global search fund landscape. I am Karen Spencer. If you've been following my YouTube channel, this chart will be familiar to you. This is the search fund formation since 2014. The blue line is the first half of a year. The purple line is the second half, with the gray being the total. As you'll see, the trend has typically been upward with a slight leveling off due to the pandemic. This chart is the number of acquisitions in a year. The blue line represents the most recent data collected from SearchFunder. And I want to thank my friends Mark and Luke for giving me the data to crunch these numbers. So I appreciate their support. I was curious to know where aspiring acquisition entrepreneurs were buying their small to mid-sized businesses. If looking at the map from SearchFunder, we see that there's a large concentration in North America, but there are search funds throughout the globe. Indeed, search funds have been launched on every continent except Antarctica. What's not on the list, though, are a few countries that surprised me for not having acquisitions, and that is Sweden, Norway, Austria, and South Korea. These are countries that have aging populations, and they do have small and mid-sized businesses. So I suspect it's just a matter of time before we see some acquisitions in these countries. This chart represents the number of unique countries by year. So you can see 10 years ago, there was just a handful of countries that were represented. Now, each year we have 25 to 30 countries represented by acquisitions in any given year. I also looked at the time for acquiring a business. Now, I did this globally, not regionally. I looked at one period from basically 2001 to 10, and then from 11 to 20. Because there's such a lag of when the crowdsourced information gets into SearchFunder's database, I felt like 2020 was probably a good cutoff. Now, what I saw was that the average time to purchase a company has declined along with the median, about 2 to 3 months. I would hope that going forward we can shave more time off of the search process. The reduction seems to be in just having better processes related to bank financing and investor financing as well. Now, let's look at how the rest of the world compares to the USA, where the search fund model was developed. This chart compares the United States acquisitions with the rest of the world. The US is in green and the rest of the world is in blue. In recent years, the number of acquisitions in the US has been about 3 times the number of the international acquisitions. Part of this is likely due to the fact that the ecosystem in the US is more mature. It started in the 1980s where the model was developed, and it's had a longer amount of time in which to grow. There may also be differences in bank lending and investor financing outside of the United States. The US tends to be fairly friendly towards these types of acquisitions. Let's look at trends internationally. What you see here is that in the beginning, North America, which is in blue, which excludes the US, had more acquisitions than Europe, which is in purple. At about 2018, 2019 is when a switch happened. Europe began to have more acquisitions than North America. We also see the emergence of South America at this time. With the purple line in more recent years being quite high with over 20 acquisitions per year in the most recent years. This is something that I did not necessarily expect to have happened, particularly when I first came into the search fund space and there was all of this activity in Mexico and some of the South American countries. I hope you enjoyed this look at the international landscape and the emergence of Europe as a leader in the search fund space. I'd now like to share with you our upcoming events. One that I'd like to particularly highlight is the book club with David Dotson. The book is The Manager's Handbook, which he wrote. I'm especially delighted to have him chat with us about the book because so much emphasis recently has been placed on searchers about how they're going to run their businesses and how they're going to create value. And David's book is very insightful, so be sure to pick up a copy of it and come join us for the book club. With that, I will see you soon. Take care.
Please support our efforts to bring you the news by liking and commenting on this video and subscribing to our channel. Thank you for your support.